Hello, this is my first time going live. I believe I'm live on YouTube and on LinkedIn. Okay, so hello. Oh, I am missing something. I am missing I am missing an article here. Bear with me for one moment. The lives. Okay, where is it? All right. I'm wearing my gold necklace today. I am missing my headgear here. What am I doing? There we go. All right, let's try this again. Okay. Hello, and welcome to the Menopause Mindshift Self Love Podcast. I am your host, Lisa R. Triggs, menopause queen, um, best selling author, and a motivational speaker for women in menopause. Okay, so I'm taking a chance here going live. Bear with me. I came up with something today that I wanted to talk about in today's podcast because I had some thoughts and feelings about it. And maybe since this is live, I will see in some comments later anybody who has an opinion on this, good, bad, or ugly. Um, if anybody is new to seeing me, everything I talk about is from personal experience, research. I've lived it, experienced it, researched it. I've been navigating menopause for almost 20 years between peri, full menopause, and postmenopause. Okay, so there's a fella on Instagram who is trying to educate husbands on the menopause journey. I believe he's calls himself Husbands for Menopause. So he had done a thing about what it's like for women in menopause, and he's trying to help educate men on what it's like for us, so that they know. And I made a comment thanking him for his position and for what he's doing, um, because helping to educate men more is a wonderful thing, because women feel very alone during this time. And in some cases, like myself, at first I had symptoms that I didn't know had anything to do with menopause until many years later. Um, and that is, well, mostly because I just didn't know that those things were attributed to menopause, so I never thought about going to the doctor and saying, "Hey," because I was a little bit young. I was only in my late 30s when this was going on, so it didn't even occur to me that the weight I was starting to gain a little bit each year, and some of the emotional things, I thought those were life and things that were going on, not anything to do hormonally or anything like that. So it also didn't occur to me to go to the doctor and have these things checked and say, "Hey, think I might be perimenopausal," because I wasn't expecting that to come on till, maybe my 50s. And so it wasn't something I was thinking about, 15, 16 years earlier in my mid to late 30s, that I could be experiencing this already. So, okay, so a lady had made a comment on the post about that she was scared that she was going to lose her relationship. She was going to lose her spouse because of menopause and her symptoms. This was the comment she made on the post that was done by Husbands for Menopause. So I made, she commented on my comment. That was her comment on my comment to him, thanking him for, what he was doing and the education. And then I said something that had related to me. So her comment was to me saying that she was in fear, living in fear that her husband, was going to leave her, and she didn't want to lose the relationship and everything because of what she was going through. So my response back to her was just to please message me privately, because I didn't want to keep that conversation online, because I had a couple thoughts about that. Um, and that led me to today. And I'm going to read this. I dictated this to myself earlier, and I want to share it because um, I thought it was quite impactful what I wrote in the moment. or what I dictated to myself in the moment. So I'd make sure that I am clear about it, and then I can continue on the conversation about it. Excuse me one second. Alrighty. um, if this is the first time you're ever seeing me, by the way, this podcast, the videos, the audio are very relaxed. This is a woman to woman, if you will, conversation. So if you're a man watching this, I hope that you take away something from it from a woman's perspective. I really do, because this is mostly for you know me and the girls having a conversation. But you are more than welcome to listen in, and if you pick up something new, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. So, one of my slogans, actually, to start this off, because since I decided to go live, this is a really bit difference. I usually open with, hello, welcome to the Menopause Mindshift Self Love Podcast, where we are shifting the way women do menopause. Okay, usually that's my opening statement. Okay, I am Lisa R. Triggs, the Menopause Queen, of course, podcast host, best-selling author, and motivational speaker. Okay, so here's the question that brought to my mind after this little comment that this lady made. I got very concerned about this woman, actually, because firstly, and I know nothing about this woman, and I'm not making any judgment, any um, assumptions, anything about this woman in her relationship. But I was a little concerned because I thought, firstly, are you in a healthy relationship? But that doesn't mean it's necessarily not a healthy relationship with the partner she's with. It could actually mean that she's not in a healthy relationship with herself. So here's the question that I asked. Is it your responsibility to make sure your partner understands what you're going through during menopause? Is it is your partner's lack of understanding your responsibility? You can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink. If you've communicated what you're going through, what it's like, you've seen your doctor, you've made your options, whether you decided to take hormone replacement therapy, if you decided to go the natural route, whatever you've done your part. So is him not getting it on him or you? If he's still a jerk or giving you a hard time or telling you it's all in your head, that's on him as far as I'm concerned. You've done your part, you've communicated, you've got your medical options, whatever you're doing, and he's still giving you a hard time. Is it time to reevaluate the relationship? The reason I'm saying this is because of the post that I saw somebody post the other day. Um, she's very afraid that her husband's going to leave her. She's very, very, very afraid of losing her relationship because of what she's going through menopause and her symptoms. Okay. It's okay. My concern here is, and I apologize again, this is live. This is usually edited out, this stuff. Me pausing here because I want to make sure I'm reading what I wrote because I just kind of rambled on. So there's no periods or ends of sentences. Okay. So my concern here is that if your partner is going to treat you badly, let's say, and make you feel less than, I this was about finding your voice, okay? Um, eh, you have to find your voice and say, "Hey, I need you to step in. I need you to step up right now. I need you to be a good partner. I need you to help me. I need your support. I don't need you giving me a hard time. I don't need you raging on me. I don't need you putting me down. So if you can't do those things for me and support me right now and be there to help me, the question I ask is, do you need to ask yourself, are you with the right person? And I'm not suggesting anybody leave their partner, never, ever, ever, because I am in a relationship where we have worked very hard at it. And I know this from experiences. That's why I'm talking about this right now, is because it does take communication. But what my point is, if you've done all that, if you have communicated, if you have taken the steps and he's still giving you a hard time, it's might be time to reevaluate. But I'm not saying leave your partner, but are you in a situation like this and you've put yourself out there? I think there are a couple options. And again, this is just me, personal, to possibly go see a counselor or therapist that can help you communicate a little better. Maybe um, a third party person, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh. That is, it'll come to me in a second. A third party person um, who doesn't know you is oh my gosh. Anyway, third party person that you're that can give you a different perspective. They don't know you, so they're not judging either one of you. It's their job. They're a professional. The second thing is keep that line of communication open and keep telling him, keep explaining to him, this is what you're going through. Express your feelings, that you're doing the best you can, and say, hey, um, I have enough going on, and this is the person I need you to be right now. I need you to be supportive. And if he's having a hard time still and he can't be, here's why I thought to take a moment to pause. And that doesn't necessarily mean pause the relationship, but you have every right to step into your own power and not be controlled by fear of losing him, losing the relationship. Because if that relationship was healthy in the first place, you wouldn't be having those thoughts or that conversation. Okay, so this is what it boils down to for me. This whole podcast is about self love and the feeling of self love during menopause. Self love is the foundation of all our relationships that you have in life. And so, not only might you take a positive step back from this relationship that's not providing you what you need in the current moment, but also it might be an opportunity to do inner work on yourself and say, what do I need or want from this relationship and this person? What do I want to continue this relationship when it may or may not be the best thing for me, or what I need right now? So, and let's bear in mind, this is something that I went through myself, right? Making a long term decision for something that technically is supposed to be temporary. Let me say that again. A long term decision, like ending a relationship, over something that could be temporary. And technically, menopause is supposed to be temporary. Most women are supposed to come out of it, right? But there are some that continue to have the symptoms that linger for the rest of their lives, hot flashes, different things like that, insomnia. Um, So, having a foundation of putting yourself first, that loving yourself first truly is the secret to having a happy and fulfilling life, whether it's by yourself or with someone else. I go back to this question and asked myself when I was going through this, and was, how can I love somebody else healthy, proper self-forgiveness? These are choices we make. Life is constantly evolving. Life is for creating. So the question is, what are you creating for yourself with this person in this relationship at this moment in time? Because everything in the present, how healthy are you? How healthy is this relationship at the present moment? So that's the thought that came to my mind when I saw this. I became very concerned for this lady because this whole business, Tiara Pink, Menopause Queen, is all about taking your own power back during this time of life. And that may be including in your relationships. You actually might be letting things slide in the relationship, not making decisions. And I know this from experience. I did exactly this. I felt numb. I just wanted to get through the day. And it's hard to explain and put into words. It was a sense of, I just don't care. I just don't want to make this decision. I don't want to make any decisions right now. So you can. But then that put him in control more of him making the decisions because I just didn't feel like it. I just wasn't in the mental space to do that. But that's what I'm talking about, that we need to make sure we do, is stay in control, make those decisions. Right? And the techniques I've used, um, I'm calling them manifestation techniques. I, meditation, visualization, journaling, these are all things that are part and parcel, and they're part of what we call manifesting the life that we want. And that's what we're doing every day anyway, right? We all know that we get back what we put out. If you're a nasty person, you're most likely going to get nasty back. If you're a kind, loving, generous person, you're going to get love, generosity, and kindness back. Isn't that actually really kind of just the way the world works in society itself, let alone this? So, when we think about it in those terms, these are societal factors, not necessarily as well as woo woo, but those societal laws, if you will, governance that we're living by, they really dictate the way we live our lives. And who made up these societal laws? What is it? Government, government, um, leaders, even gurus, philanthropists, philosophers, scientists, right? But here's the thing: if you really look at science, our bodies are science. We are made up of, what is it, 80% water. We know that we are energetic beings. We are made up of energy, the atoms. It's constantly moving. So when we are putting a certain amount of energy out, that is the energy we're going to get back. So for myself, I felt depressed and very low for 5, 6 years. That was the energy I was putting out. That was the energy I allowed myself to feel. I chose those feelings in the moment. I can say that now because I know the difference, right? I allowed and I chose to live like that until I realized that that's what I was doing. I was choosing and allowing myself to be and feel and live in that depressed state. So it just coupled. I just the people around me were miserable and all that kind of stuff. So this is the same thing I think for this lady, and I couldn't very well say that, um, you know, on an Instagram comment chat. That's why I said, please just message me if you want to talk, because I wanted to say to her, okay, let's have a conversation. What are you doing? Where are you at? Um, medically, even what's happening there, and then say, okay, well, what choices are you all making? And there are always the outside factors that I talk about as well, letting all the outside factors, socio-economical, job, saving face, whatever, our public view, right? The comment, I don't want to lose this relationship because of what I'm going through during menopause. uh to me, it's not all on her. It's on him too, to meet her halfway and say, I understand, honey. You know, do you want a hug right now? What do you need from me to help you right now in this time and in this moment? What can I do for you? And chances are his generosity in saying that will make her feel so much better and so much more comfortable in communicating to him, knowing that she has his understanding, his compassion, and his love to be able to work through it together in whatever way they choose, whether it's going to a counselor or just communicating like that. And here's the thing: when we make changes in our lives, um, it's a hard thing. Nobody wants to say, I need to walk away from this relationship. But that's where, ladies, we need to take control. And like I said, know that this person comes first. You come first in every relationship, right? You have to consider your own mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health first. So maybe you are the one at first that needs to go see a counselor or talk to somebody, therapist, whatever, or do some inner work, meditate on it, journal about it, do a release ceremony where you're writing things down and burning it or tearing it up, throwing it in the garbage, flushing it down the toilet, whatever, whatever you need to do. You are the one that probably needs to start first and do that inner work to say, I have to make sure that I love myself enough first to be able to handle whatever's going on with him, whatever I need to do with him, whatever I need to do with this relationship. But first and foremost, if I'm not healthy and centered and good and in love with myself and this life, then I'm not showing up as that person in this relationship. And I can't expect that from him either. I can't expect him to show up for me if I'm not showing up for him. But firstly, myself. Show up for yourself first, then him, then your relationship, and so on and so on. If that makes sense to anybody, please let me know in the comments. Please give me a follow. Please, I'm going to end it now. I think that this is an impactful conversation. It's not an easy conversation when we're talking about people's relationships, but what it boils down to is this. Okay, and first, let me say again, I am not a relationship coach. Um, I'm in the process of becoming a menopause coach and a neuroscience coach. I'm doing that, but I'm not a relationship coach. I have been married for 34 years, in a relationship with the same person for 37 years. These are things that I have been through, and that's how I can share them with you. These are the lessons I have learned. This is what I wrote about in my book. This is why I created specific materials, journals, and that are just for women in menopause because we need it out there for us because, guys, men, a lot of times we feel alone. We don't feel comfortable even sometimes sharing what's going on with you. We actually can't pinpoint sometimes what's going on with us, like for me, because I didn't know for 10 years that what I was going through was perimenopause. So, uh, I will say it again. Ladies, we need to make sure the person in here is taken care of first before we can take care of anybody else out. So, do your inner work, and then the outside world will be so much more lovely, so much more beautiful because you are making the choice to live it as such. Thank you so much. I am Lisa R. Triggs, the Menopause Queen. This has been the Menopause Mindshift Self-Love Podcast. And I always end my podcast with exactly what I was talking about today. Please remember self-love first. Bye for now.